Approximately 4 million years ago, a profound geological and climatic transformation reshaped the face of Earth, particularly in Africa. The dense forests that once dominated the landscape gradually gave way to vast, arid savannas, where life was forced to adapt or perish. This was not merely a change in scenery, but the beginning of a new chapter in the grand evolutionary journey. On this unforgiving terrain, colossal herds migrated ceaselessly, and the eternal dance of predator and prey unfolded relentlessly, weaving a brutal tapestry of nature. The animal kingdom of that era was both familiar and alien, a vibrant yet perilous tableau. On the low-lying hills, the enormous silhouettes of Mythical, with their downward curving tusks, resembling gigantic scythes, cast menacing shadows. Within the head-high grasses, the saber-toothed cat, Smilodon, lurked, its long fangs gleaming like deadly knives, poised to tear out the throat of its unsuspecting prey. In the skies, flocks of primitive vultures circled, patiently awaiting the demise of any creature to descend and feast. And in the silent rivers, colossal ancient crocodiles lay motionless like logs, ready to erupt in a frenzy of red, if even a slight movement disturbed the water. It was a world where life was defined by brute strength and predatory instinct. Within this harsh environment, a small primate species began to emerge, seemingly frail and out of place. They possessed neither sharp fangs nor exceptional speed to escape, nor the muscular strength to confront the giants surrounding them. Yet, they carried within them a revolutionary change that would shake the entire course of natural history. They learned to walk on two legs. These were the Australopithecus, the southern apes. Australopithecus were not tall, standing only about 5 feet, with thick fur covering their bodies, protecting them from the biting cold of the savanna nights. Their faces still bore strong ape-like features, with prominent cheekbones and robust teeth, ideal for grinding nuts and roots. However, amidst all these primitive traits, their upright posture transformed them into a distinctly different species. With their feet firmly planted on the ground, their hands were freed from the task of climbing, gradually becoming tools for grasping. They began to use them to break branches, pick up sharp stones, or even hurl them in desperation when a predator attacked. This was not merely a physiological change, but a pivotal shift in cognition and the ability to interact with their environment. Imagine a morning on the savanna, the rising sun casting long shadows from a small group of Australopithecus as they emerged from the sparse forest edge. They moved in small groups, cautiously observing their surroundings, each step seemingly harmonizing with the rhythm of nature. Distant sounds echoed, signaling both life and death. The chase of antelopes, the cries of hunting birds tearing through the air. Suddenly, a Smilodon appeared. Its golden eyes blazed from behind a bush, like the flames of death itself. The Australopithecus group startled. A few individuals panicked and fled towards the forest, but remarkably, others did not. They stood their ground, quickly picking up stones from beneath their feet. They shouted, brandishing their arms and throwing objects at the predator. The resounding clatter of stones hitting the ground filled the air. The Smilodon hesitated, sensing an unusual resistance, then slowly retreated. In that moment, the southern apes had accomplished something no other primate before them had dared to try. They confronted directly, using intelligence, solidarity, and crude tools, rather than merely fleeing on instinct. Their lives were intrinsically linked to the harsh wilderness. During the day, they roamed the vast savanna, patiently searching for fruits, tubers, and occasionally, scraps of meat left behind after a lion's or hyena's feast. They had not yet learned to craft sophisticated tools, but their survival instincts taught them to utilize their surroundings. A sturdy branch or a sharp-edged stone was enough to crack open fruit shells or scrape meat from bones. At night, they gathered under large trees, seeking a fragile safety from the dense darkness and the incessant roars echoing from all directions. Group cohesion became the key to survival, where each individual was an indispensable part of the whole. Australopithecus were not the rulers of the savanna. They were merely a small, vulnerable link in the vast food chain, constantly on the brink of being hunted and eliminated. But it was this very weakness, this fragility, that compelled them to adapt, to change, in order to survive. They moved in herds, sharing food so that every member had a chance to live, and alerting each other to dangers. Gradually, their simple, instinctive cries transformed into meaningful signals. A far-reaching shout, warning of predators. A short call, urging movement. These sounds, though rudimentary, were the first seeds of human language. A complex communication tool that would shape the future. Throughout this journey, nature relentlessly tested them. Sudden rains turned the savanna into a muddy expanse, impeding all movement. Prolonged droughts killed entire herds, forcing Australopithecus to travel further, exploring new territories in search of sustenance. Each step taken on two legs, though slower than four, unlocked a superior endurance. They weren't fast runners, but they could walk for very long distances, traversing desolate lands until they found water or food. The ability to walk upright with endurance was key to expanding their territory, exploring the world, and finding opportunities for survival. And so, over hundreds of thousands of years, the southern apes sowed the first seeds of humanity's grand evolutionary tale. From a small creature in a corner of Africa, they became the indispensable bridge between an ape past and a human future. Every desperate stone thrown at a predator, every halting step on two upright legs, was a sign of a destiny being forged, an intelligence gradually awakening. The savanna still stretched to the horizon, the sky still echoed with the calls of vultures, and darkness still harbored countless dangers. But amidst all of this, Australopithecus lit a fragile yet resilient spark. It was the light of extraordinary adaptation, of an intense will to survive, and above all, the very first step of humankind on this planet. From that trembling step, a multi-million-year journey would continue to unfold. It would lead to the emergence of Homo habilis with their tool-making abilities, Homo erectus with their mastery of fire and migration out of Africa, two Neanderthals with their sophisticated intelligence, and finally, two Homo sapiens, modern humans with their capacity for abstract thought and boundless creativity. But it all began here, from the forests and savannas of Africa, with a small ape-like species that learned to stand tall, look up, and gaze towards the distant horizon, where the fate of a new species awaited.